This is the hardest game ever. Whether that's gonna live up to its name, we're gonna find out. I like to think that I'm a very calm and collected person, so playing a rage game on stream might expose how little my patience actually is. Well, it depends on how you look at it, because I feel like I have a pretty decent fuse when it comes to my patience, but let me just put it this way. Rage games are really, really frustrating for me, so... I don't know how this is gonna work. I'm curious, you know, when you title a game like that, you just have to know. You gotta know what's going on. Starting at 0 deaths. I swear, if we make it to 100 deaths before we hit an hour, I'm gonna quit. Does blue mean slippery? Or is that just grass? Okay, I can jump in midair. These are all good signs. Sticky walls, wall jumping. Oh, the other thing I don't like already is that there's momentum. I have to build up momentum. Well, I mean, so far it's not too bad. Could be a lot worse. Building up momentum's gonna kill me though. I really feel like that's gonna be the... So it's gonna break me. Where am I supposed to go? Oh, well, okay. It's a very peaceful death. Already in my head, I'm wondering what a speedrun of this game looks like. Because it just sounds like a really peaceful dungeon. Like a dungeon runner or something, I don't know. Like, how is this game gonna make me mauled? I can't see it yet. I don't see it yet. I'm gonna eat my words in a little bit here. Alright. Wasn't the music a little more hype earlier? What happened to that? So am I supposed to... I'm supposed to drop down, right? Yeah, okay. I gotta remind myself that I can jump in mid-air if I don't use my initial jump. Things you might didn't know. Grammar. At the center of the crystal area, there's a controller. But people haven't realized that the center is shaped like a cup. Something tells me I should write this down somewhere. But I'm definitely not going to. Something looks like a cup. I'm not gonna remember that. Take a mental note. Jeez. Oh no. What am I supposed to do with this? You only show me keyboard controls. You don't show me controller controls. So I'm gonna have to learn this as I go. What do I do with this? I can pick it up and drop it. But what do I do with it? Wait. Q is to pick up E... Wait. I don't understand. That's fine. Oh, no. It's the momentum-based running that's gonna kill me. I said it. I called it right at the beginning. This is what's gonna irritate me the most. Because, oh my god, I have to build momentum. What do you think is worse? This game or jump... Is it Shovel Knight or is it Jump Knight? There's a game where you have what is it? Jump King? Yeah. That one. That one's probably would kill me the most. Are you serious? I clipped the edge. I give myself 1 hour. I'm only giving myself an hour. If I can't get far in an hour, I'm just gonna stop. I really, really feel like I'm gonna lose it. And I haven't even started. We just got started. Okay, so I'm supposed to pick up these feathers, but I don't understand what the feather is for. Okay, one step further than the last time. Great, fantastic, easy. It's just that simple. There was a shortcut this whole time that I didn't take. Also, what are you? Oh. Hi there. See that door up there? Yeah. You can unlock it with that key, but they can be a bit tricky. What's the tricky part? They always lock after you go through them. Oh. If you're not sure where a door leads, you might just want to be safe and have an extra key. Do I take the risk? You can't just warn me at the first door and then tell me, you know, you gotta have more than one key before you get through the door. Do I take it? There's no way this could be a bad idea, right? Right? No way. No way. Sick, you even give me an extra key that I can't reach. How do I get that? I barely touched that. Are you kidding me? Okay, at least it saves. Thank you, jeez. Well, I guess that was a tutorial door because that led me nowhere. Joy. Those wood things up there are ladders. Cool, how do I climb them? Just grab the rungs. I personally wouldn't trust a ladder though. Why is that? They're always up to something. Oh, bad jokes, bad jokes. Oh shoot, you can just fall right off it at the top. Hi there. Hi. Hi, nice to meet you. Meow. Meow. So, how do you feel about this place? I don't know, it looks really big. Don't worry about it. Nobody is expecting you to exit the cave in 2 seconds. I'm expecting to leave this place in 2 seconds. Take your time. I know it's hard, but you can do it. Can I? Boing, 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 boing. Okay, well that way is death, but death has a key. Am I not allowed to jump higher? Oh. Okay, well, how much do I really want that key though? Risk it for the biscuit. Oh no. I have to start all the way from the beginning again? Are you joking? I swear by the end of the session, I'm gonna be like so good at this front part, the beginning. Actually, probably not. I'm not good at platformers, let's be honest here. Especially after coming from Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisps, I don't believe that I'm good at platformers at all. Absolutely not. All right, well, I'm gonna take the shortcut. Woo! That wasn't too bad. I'll take a free key, thank you. For this being called the hardest game ever, this is an awfully calming soundtrack to go with it. It's very unnerving. I can't. I don't know how these ladders work. I'm not grabbing that key. I already have a key, thank you. Oh, you're better at this than I am at naming intervals? No, I don't believe that I don't believe we've gotten far in this game yet. We've barely scratched the surface, Ju. Don't. You're selling yourself short, Ju. I'm sure you can identify things. You need like music theory lessons? I think I can offer advice for like basic music theory maybe. But like it's the same stuff everyone says out there. I don't think I would offer anything new. I couldn't tell an octave apart. That's okay. Look, some of these things take time though. Okay, those are breakable platforms. Good to know. I don't think that's a place I should be going to. I should just leave. Oh no, okay, well. Quick on my feet, quick on my toes. Good things are happening. God. These little bouncy shroom things are gonna be my nightmare. Everything in this game is gonna be my nightmare, and everything's like subtly irritating me already. Ever so slightly. Sometimes classical music theory is not for everyone. I know people who don't have classical music training that can still understand music at a very high level. It's just that the way you talk about music to those kinds of people is very different from people who have had classical education. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, no. Do I just go for it? Do I just D-key it? Do I just, joystick left it? Oh, God. This is only the beginning. The game still seems forgiving. It's still forgiving. I'm just really stupid. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can already feel my brain melt, and I know we haven't even seen the worst. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna push forward and hope for the best. Perfect. Easy. Duly noted. Just move forward. Just be better. There's a ladder here, but I can't get to it. Ooh, I can. If it's just that easy, I'm just gonna go at things without questioning it, you know? We play off instinct here. Where is this? There's no way you just took me all the way back to the beginning, right? This is new. I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm not gonna give it a chance. I don't want to talk about it. Oh no. It's okay. At some point, I'm gonna be able to do this front end of the game blindfolded. That's how often I feel like I'm gonna get back to the beginning. Even then, I'm still struggling, so that probably seems improbable. God, if there's no checkpoints in the game, you just gotta have one perfect run. And with the doors too. With the doors, you have to plan everything out. Do I have the mental capacity to do this? Do I? Also, I might play Dead Space for science reasons. I did say I was gonna play a horror game when I hit 250 followers. Oh god. I don't think Dead Space counts as a horror game, but I was kindly asked to participate in a game jam in October, and they were asking for horror music. I mean, first of all, I'm already like shocked that they would even bother asking me, because I've never worked with game music before, nor have I done anything horror related, nor have I worked with game developers before. So this is gonna be a first for me. So I've been doing some research. Well, I've done some research since last night about horror games, horror films, and like how to construct good music for that genre of stuff. And from what I've been told on the internets is that Dead Space has a really great soundtrack to go with the game that really emphasizes on horror. So I might play some of Dead Space just to experience the music with the game so that I get an understanding of how the music functions with the game. Oh god. Oh, stop. No. Oh, it's always the easy stuff. It's okay. Deep breaths, deep breaths. It's not that I haven't seen this before. It's okay. Repetition matters. You guys ever hear the phrase practice makes perfect? Well, I'm here to tell you that that phrase is a lie. One of my former music teachers, oh, darn it. One of my former music teachers told me it's not practice makes perfect, it's perfect practice makes perfect. And so by that right, there is no such thing as perfection. So you might as well not follow that mantra. You just gotta keep up with the grind. Practice to your heart's content. That's all I can say. Practice with patience. That's something that I would advocate for. I keep screwing up that jump. I feel like I would clip the edge of that platform so that I can get my jump back. But I always overshoot it. I don't think I'm gonna get very far in this game, let's be honest. We're probably the whole stream, the whole video is just gonna be me playing this front end over and over again because I make stupid mistakes just like that. They're also perfectly timed with my commentary too. Yeah, to the person who came up with the phrase practice makes perfect, I would like to have some words with said person. I'd like to know how they came to that conclusion. Perfection is an artificial concept created by people who just want improvement. The concept of perfection does not actually mean literal perfection, in my opinion. It's the state in which we try to force the upcoming generation of people to do better than perfect, to be better than the previous generation. And so when people say perfect, they very literally just mean be better than the best. Because that's how you standardize perfect, no? And in that right, perfection doesn't exist because it's ever changing. Which way am I supposed to go? This map isn't very linear, so that doesn't help me much either. Ooh, oh, oh. Are you serious? Oh no, oh no. Oh. Perfection is in the eyes of the beholder. Well said. Even then, I would advocate for anybody who strives for perfection to not let that be the standard, because there's no such thing. Even if your version of perfect, even if you obtain your version of perfect, you're gonna find that somebody else is doing something better than what you've already standardized as perfect, and then you're gonna redefine your definition of perfect to then strive to be better than what you already sought out to be. The word perfect itself already inherently has negative connotations. So as ideal of a concept as perfection is, I would like to advocate for people not to use that in their vocabulary. Particularly when it comes to creative work, performances, artistry, content creation, all that stuff, you know? Because what is perfect? There's no such thing as perfect. You just have to be the best version of yourself as my camera decides to shut me off. Should I ever want to define perfection, my definition would likely be something like being the best version of yourself in the moment. Because there's always room for improvement. There's never not a time where, oh my god. There's never not a time where you can't improve yourself. And to anybody who thinks they've already peaked, I'd have to argue that you need to sit down with yourself and reflect and see what other things, what other aspects of your life you can possibly improve on. There's always something to learn, always something new that you can improve on. There's a part of me that feels like I've peaked in terms of like my violin performance. Well, you'll only see the peak when you start making backwards progress, and the whole creative process is just a bunch of random hills. You have a bunch of peaks and valleys. You might not necessarily see them on a regular basis, but the progress is there. The days that you feel frustration, those are probably your valleys. The days you feel absolutely great about yourself and everything you're doing on a regular basis, those are your peaks. But those peaks and valleys are very small. They happen marginally compared to the ones that you'll notice over a year's worth of time, if not years worth of time. Being a musician of 20-something years, I can guarantee you that when you look back on your progress, you can see a lot of the peaks and valleys very, very clearly. I feel like I peaked in my undergrad, and musically, like on the violin. The one recording that I have pinned on my Twitter page, at the top of my Twitter page, that's the one recording that I've ever felt satisfied doing. I'm not usually the kind of person to... I'm not kind to myself. I'm overly self-critical, and so a lot of the times I walk out of events, I walk out of things very displeased with my own work. And so to say that I thought a recording sounded okay is a huge step for me. Personally, I swear if I missed this jump, I missed the jump again. This might just be a rage game podcast at this point. Anything is content, I guess. Been aiming for 7 years, and every 3 days it feels like I've never used a mouse in my life. Honestly, same. It's the same with gaming. I feel like pro gamers might understand this too. You do something regularly for many, many years of your life. There are gonna be days where you feel like absolute garbage. You're not... I think what some people don't understand about doing a creative outlet, something that requires a honed skill, is that our work is never consistent. It's not a linear growth. And even if people might see it as linear, they only see like the tip of the iceberg. They don't see the real struggle that we go through every day. We don't see, I don't know, the torn drafts that are stuck in your trash can. They don't see the failed outtakes of recordings. They don't see the countless hours of fundamental practice that we all have to do. Like being a performer, you really only, you're on stage for like 30 minutes, but you're in the practice room for 10 times, if not like 100-fold number of hours that the public gets to see you. Except those countless hours is what the public gets to appreciate. I feel like I'm rambling on. I don't remember the topic I started with. But hey, this is just how my brain works, and here we are talking about... Here we are talking about perfectionism. Talking about perfectionism playing a game that requires perfect mechanics. On your note, Ju, I didn't see the other one. You said if you hit it once, you can't hit it twice. To that, I sort of agree. You can't hit the same peak twice, but you can create new peaks for yourself. A lot of the times, improvement is self-oriented. And so to the people who feel like they've peaked and can't get themselves out of a ditch in terms of creative mastery, or even for a technical skill. Oh, thank goodness I made the jump, but what do I do from here? I just drop back down, right? I'm in the... What's the point? I gotta go through the door. I wasted my time. I should have just gone through the door. I feel like people who feel like they're in a rut, people who are experiencing... What's it called? It's not writer's block. There's another phrase that musicians use. God, I suck at this. Oh, no, it's not something musicians use. It's something everyone uses. It's called burnout. The reason you experience burnout is because you've been chasing for the same thing that you've never been able to achieve. And so you're questioning all of your values and what it is you're actually going for. The problem with experiencing burnout is you feel hopeless, you feel useless, and then you kind of just wallow yourself in this hole, when in fact it's not true. You've just been approaching the same situation in a way that's not suited for you specifically. It's always nice to have role models to look up to and people who can give you guidance, but at the end of the day, your life is your journey. You have to find your own path to take. Some people are fortunate enough that other people's paths are a great source of inspiration for how they live their life. For other people, not so much. You kind of just have to feel your way around it. Forge your own path. Am I gonna make any progress beyond this? Okay, let me through the door, please. Okay? I'm just gonna go for it. No fear. I kind of fear. Is that even the way to go? Do I have any other options? I feel like I've exhausted a majority of my options here. I still don't know what the feathers do. I still keep missing that ledge. Used to chase the highs that I've hit before. Oh god, reading is hard while playing this game. Hold on. Used to chase the highs I've hit before, and I've come to an understanding that I've been consistently successful in doing so. But the amount of energy invested is not justified, because if I slip up once, it's just another downward spiral, and I'm kind of over that. See, here's where here's where my joke about creatives and musicians, specifically musicians, because we do this all the time. We're all a little bit crazy when it comes to chasing something such as music, such as art. Because you're never going to be consistent. You cannot assume that the next day is going to be better than the last. Though that is what you should be working for, and I advocate that kind of mindset when it comes to progress, practice. That's what you should be going for. Be better than you were before, better than you were an hour ago, yesterday, a few months ago, a few years ago. That's a good mindset to have. But to always expect that you're going to make progress the next day is very unhealthy. Because in the instant that you don't make progress and you feel like you're going backwards, that's when you start slipping up. Choosing to pursue a creative outlet professionally or like more advancedly is a mental battle. It's no longer about whether you're capable of doing it or not, it's whether or not you're mentally stable enough to pursue the capacity that you have. I'm a strong believer that anyone can accomplish. Why did I go this way? I'm a strong believer in the fact that anyone can accomplish anything with the right resources and with the right mindset. God. Oh my god, oh my god. Like, for example, if I wanted to be a doctor and I had the capacity to do so, I could probably be a doctor. Is that what I want to do? Not really. Should I study hard enough and want it enough? Probably I could make it happen, but I know for a fact that with my personality, with my skill set, and with the way that my brain works, that it might not be the easiest route for me to take, nor would it be the most feasible route for me to take. I seem to be in a bit of a predicament here, okay. And see, this is what makes people unique, right? Is that we all have different brains, we all function differently, we all have different personalities, we're all individuals. And so when it comes down to... Oh god. When it comes down to choosing what it is you want to pursue in life, that is all, that's what makes you unique, that's what makes you individualized. I have read about DJs that have absolutely no music experience and are professionally probably some of the best DJs out in the world. Were they blessed with formal music education? No. Do they have the capacity to learn about music? Yes, they do. There are plenty of resources out there that'll allow for it. And with the right connections, you can still break into the music industry without, you know, being a top-level musician. Why can't I make that jump? There are many classically trained musicians that don't turn out to be classical musicians that I've discovered recently. I think a few months ago, I discovered the composer for My Hero Academia. Used to be a figure skater. Not even a musician, he was a figure skater, a professional, or like aiming to be a professional figure skater. I hope I'm getting my facts right. Somebody fact check me on this. I mean, all of this is to say that if you want to chase your dreams, go for it, because everybody has the capacity to be able to do what they want. But the things that are hindering that are probably resources, money, time. And again, I'm not saying like go all in and like fully invest yourself in something that that financially doesn't make any sense. That's not what I'm advocating here. But I'm saying if you want to, you have the capacity to, you most definitely should go chase your dreams and be able to do the things that you want to accomplish in life, because you only have one life to live. If you want to be the CEO of your own company, I can't make this jump. If you want to be the CEO of your own company, you better put in the work to make it happen, you know? I'm still convinced I can unlock my hidden perfect pitch passive. That brings up a very interesting topic about perfect pitch, relative pitch, and all that stuff. It's always been natural for me. From what I've been told, ever since I was like a wee 3-year-old tiny... ever since I was like a 3-year-old child, I've been able to recognize pitches well. Or like the way that my teacher discovered this is that he would play a passage on his violin. I wouldn't see his hands or do anything. We would be back to back. He would play me a short passage and say, "Repeat after me." And I would have the capacity to be able to replicate the same thing that he played. And so I guess by that right, I discovered I had perfect pitch, maybe? Ah, darn it. I'm not gonna get anywhere in this game. You know what? I'm just gonna title this video like the world's hardest podcast or something. I've always been curious about how people without perfect pitch perceive music. Because it's always been so natural for me, I don't think there's any way for me to replicate the way that people without perfect pitch perceive music, perceive sound, perceive pitches. That, and on top of like my 20+ years of music training, I don't think I could go backwards. Closest analogy is color blindness. See, that's the... When you put it that way, I'm also not colorblind, so I don't know what that's like either. But if the closest thing to associate with not being able to recognize perfect pitch is color blindness, I can kind of see how that works. Why can't I just make that jump? I swear that one jump is gonna stop me from playing this game. Is there no other path for me to take? Oh, there's another thing that I hate about having perfect pitch is that people think perfect pitch is this phenomena that's super... Like they treat it like some superpower. And like you kind of see the memes with Charlie Puth because he has like this whole perfect pitch thing on his TikTok page. Or like that's what he's known for, but I don't know why that's a thing you would associate with just Charlie. But it's like when you tell people you have perfect pitch, the one thing that really makes me annoyed is when you tell people you have perfect pitch, they start smacking random things in the vicinity and they'll be like, "What pitch is this? Tell me, what pitch is this?" If there's an instrument nearby, they'll be like, don't look, and they'll like mash a bunch of keys on the piano or like play a note on whatever instrument is nearby and be like, "What pitch is that?" It's like one of my pet peeves of having perfect pitch. It's just not... I mean, yes, we can do it, but it's kind of annoying to do it on the spot when you're asking us like that. I think the thing with people who don't have perfect pitch is that they can develop relative pitch. And then if we talk about perfect pitch versus relative pitch, that's a different issue altogether. But most people can learn relative pitch. Perfect pitch, okay. Well, I might as well differentiate it now. Perfect pitch is that you can recognize pitches or pitch intervals without any sort of reference, without a point of reference. So technically, everything after hearing one note is relative pitch. Theoretically, if you understand pitches, right? And so perfect pitch is when you're able to recognize notes from thin air without any point of reference. And so what usually happens is a lot of people mistake their relative pitch ability with perfect pitch because they're like, oh, I recognize notes. God, I keep missing that jump. People make the mistake of thinking they have perfect pitch because they can recognize the pitches of their instrument. And usually that's a key giveaway to me that they have relative pitch. If you play a pitch or a tone that's out of their instrument range, they'll have a harder time to recognize what that pitch is. And so then that to me screams relative pitch, where they can hear pitches relative to their instrument. What if I internalize the reference? I can fake it, right? Technically you can, but then you would have to do it at a fast enough rate to be able to give the impression that you have perfect pitch, right? So like if we were to theoretically do a perfect pitch test on you right now, if I play you the first note is usually the determining factor of whether or not you have perfect pitch. And then it becomes memory retention, because if you remember the pitch that I just played for you, the next pitch should be relative to the first pitch that I gave to you. And so if you have a point of reference, which technically question 1 would be the point of reference if you remember it, then question 2 should be no problem. And that's only speaking within an octave range. If I open the floor to multiple octaves from 20 hertz to 200, well, nobody can hear that high, to 20,000 hertz, 20k hertz, then you should be able to differentiate the difference between that big range of pitches. How do I do this jump? I've already died maybe 20 times to that jump. I'm basically going at this blindly now. I don't feel like is there a different path? Yeah, so I've met a lot of musicians who think they have perfect pitch. I mean, you could technically call it perfect pitch because there are only so many pitches within a certain range that you really need to recognize. But like, say for example, I played a sub-frequency, a sub-bass frequency to a violinist, and I asked them, can you give me like a close estimation of what pitch this is? Because sub-frequencies are incredibly low. I have trouble hearing them sometimes. More often than not, they'll be like, it just sounds like noise to me. And like, yes, that's reasonable because it's a sub-frequency. But even sub-frequencies can be tuned, and you have to also be able to recognize those pitches because they do exist. They exist in trap music. They exist in a lot of hip-hop, EDM. Like if I'm thinking only instrumental music, the lowest pitches you could possibly have in an instrumental setting can come from the double bass, can come from the tuba, can maybe come from the contrabassoon, but even contra, you can still hear the frequency. Even all three of these instruments, you can hear them very clearly. I'm talking about pure sine wave sub-frequencies that are tuned. More often than not, I found that instrumental musicians have a harder time listening to those. Unless you're a bass player, unless you work with like the lower range frequencies. I swear I'm gonna miss this jump again. How does this even work? How do I jump that? Oh, I gotta do a mid-air jump. That sucks. All right, well, I'm here now. I'm sitting in this chair. Oh God. Do I go left or do I go up? That goes back to the beginning. Are you serious? I'm gonna cry. God, one step forward, 2 steps back. What am I supposed to do? Everything's fine. This is fine. Like, what do people want to know when it comes to like music from an outsider's perspective? Because again, I've been doing this my whole life. It's very rare that I have the opportunity to talk to people who don't really know music. Music education was like a really big thing where I grew up. And so the majority of people at least have a mild understanding of music. So when I talk about music things, they kind of understand what I'm doing, what I'm talking about. I mean, of course they don't understand it fully, but they have enough knowledge to be like, yeah, I can understand what you're talking about. But I very seldom meet people who have very little to no music education. Or people who want to learn about music who don't have that sort of background. Or maybe that's just kind of been a Twitch thing. Ever since I've gotten on Twitch, it's always nice to see people, other streamers who have had music education, who either have played an instrument, still want to play an instrument, or are still actively playing their instrument. It's always nice to see people still being musically active, albeit not professionally. Oh, okay, I'm back. I know how to do that part. I just don't know what to do here, because I suck at this part. What time is it? I don't even think I want to give myself an hour at this rate. I mean, I'll open the floor to a question. Even though I know some of you, I've like already talked to a couple of you about this question. Have you guys learned instruments growing up? What was your learning experience like? Did you guys find practicing troublesome, or did you enjoy the process of achieving new things regularly? Okay, God. I think music as a hobby is okay to have. I definitely would want people to like be somewhat attuned to music. There are very few people out there that I know that like don't listen to music at all, and that I'm biased, but I think that's strange. But I also kind of understand why people wouldn't. Oh God, maybe I go back to wind, back to my oranges, back to the recorder. Isn't a recorder like a requirement in some in some education systems? I remember in elementary school we had to all learn the recorder together in music class. And I remember my music teacher at the time would be a little snobbier towards me because they knew that I was a musician already. So they treated me like I was the know-it-all, even though I never acted like a know-it-all. I'm done. I keep missing that jump. It's just Look, we can do a let's just move on. This is pointless. It was literally just a podcast for an hour watching me play a rage game and kind of not really rage, but you know, you guys are here anyway. Look, it's your fault for being here. You expected rage, but you're not getting rage. You don't get rage. That's not me. That's not what this channel is. Rage quit, you bet.